This is Justin AMZN on Friday, July 6th, 2018, with a look at the pre-market. We get a high here in the pre-market that coincides with the high late in the day yesterday, and the low is from pre-market is pretty close to the low in the afternoon yesterday. So we're really in the same range, and it's just a matter of, okay, is this a distribution and we're going to go lower, or is this an accumulation and we're going to continue higher? Just above us is the 1714.50 price level that we've got drawn in, and below us, I'd have to go back and look because I don't remember what the next value is lower. I think there's some space to go. So really, we'll have to see if we had a bearish day, another bearish day, if we're going to have another bearish day in a row to have a little more of a pullback, or if today we're actually going to stop this bearishness and actually move forward. And we'd have to take out this high. Maybe we can take out this high, and we actually have a move up that's actually going in the opposite direction, like getting into a new high, which would be a great thing to have. So to continue bullish, I should say. Now, if you want it to continue bearish, then it'd be great to take out the low, like we did from yesterday, from the day before it. So let's step into the day and see what we get. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Let's go with that button. There we go. So we actually pull back a little bit, actually take out the low from the afternoon. We are at a level that's similar to the low of 2 days ago, and actually slightly below that, but we're still, relatively close to the values that we had low from 2 days ago, and then a couple values, especially this one from yesterday. So we really just need to see how this is going to play out. If this is going to continue, if it's going to reverse, what's actually going to happen. But this range is key, so we really want to see a strong close below it. This is high volume also, but we've also had an opening bearish candle each of the days, and then a recovery, yesterday, and not a recovery the day before, and actually a breakdown. So I'd want to see something break down, retest, and then collapse. And, just like this, broke down, retest, collapse. I want to see that happen again here. Break down, a retest, and collapse for us to continue that way, continue bearish. So here's the recovery. Here's the buying pressure, and this one actually takes out the high of the first 5-minute candle, which is the same as we did yesterday. So that's nothing new. So now we really want to see. Okay, we're going to actually break down right now with what's going to happen. And instead, we actually go a little bit higher. Now we throw up an upper wick and retest within that 5-minute, right back onto that line. It's about 1704. So these highs right in that area. We're retesting that within that 5-minute candle, and now we're going sideways in there. We're actually making higher highs above that, which is phenomenal. Okay, we're actually broken out of this with some candles with lower volume, so we want to see a little bit of an S curve come in, and now we've got a really good place to do it if we can come back down to 1704 or 1704.25, like my cursor keeps landing on. So right here on this candle, 1705.11. There we go. What's this low? The low on this one is 1704 on the dot. 1704. There you go. You can be getting in on that candle that it retested. The previous day's high, afternoon high. It wasn't the high in the day. It was the afternoon high. So that's a retest. That's an S curve. It's small, but it's retesting right at the value we want. So the high here was 1704, the high here was 1704. We had a tweezer top on the pre-market. That's really close to these highs here. We just retested that during the day. This looks like a great place to get in, either buying at that level and putting your stop a couple dollars below, or buying a break above it and a stop right underneath it, and a target of 17.14.50. So looking for about, let's see, about an $8 move, something like that. $78 move. No, let's see, like $8 move, and maybe a risk that's 3, maybe 4. So that's that's about a 2-to-1, which is good, but it's also a Friday expiration, so there should be some more movement in the options as you get for options that are at the money getting into the money, or options that are out of the money growing slightly as they get to the point of being at the money. And so let's continue on the day and see what works out. Okay, good. So it's Morningstar reversal. The hammer candle worked. It's moving up. Oh boy, now it's retesting. What do we got now? You know, we're actually down in the position after in. We've got lows that are identical here. So we have a tweezer bottom now. This starts to look like a little more like a double bottom at a location that we want to bounce, and it starts to bounce. No, it's going to consolidate. So I got some lower high, higher low, and go a few more candles. Still really consolidating, but this is still really good. We got the exponential moving averages underneath. We got the support level, this old resistance, the support level in here that's holding. And so this is where you really want to say, okay, I want to get above that with a stop down here. And that's a really nice tight risk on this kind of a setup. That's tighter than we've been so early in the day in a while. I mean, yesterday when we collapsed really quickly, the day before we collapsed really quickly, retested. But all these are bigger candles, bigger candles. It wasn't until, you know, kind of this area in the day yesterday, that's about it. Like where we had some small candles all in a row. We've got a bunch of small candles all in a row. This looks like a stair step. It's just a matter of, okay, which way is it going to go? I'm looking at this a little more bullish because we took out the afternoon highs than bearish, but it could actually just roll over bearish and, you know, continue with one of these patterns, you know, from this area. I mean, we were, let's see, 1707. There we go. So we were in this area when I was trying to do that 2 days ago. And then 1707. This was just selling off. We didn't get back up to it. So the last 2 days it sold off from this level, or had been selling off before this level, and now it's just looking like it's gonna it could just continue or it could go up. So another small candle, another small candle. All right, we're ready. We're totally ready. Risk is really tight, but we know that the reward can be phenomenal. So we'll look at what option to get into at this point a little later. But if you want to be speculative, you can go ahead and get in, or if you want to wait for it to trigger you, if you're not in yet, then you can set up a trade out like this. If you're still in from earlier buying down here, you're up slightly. Now your options premium may be dwindling because it's just going sideways and it's got some more room to run here if it goes up. So it's really a matter of what option you went with. So here we go. Here's the breakout. So here, this candle's moving up, keep moving up. A lot of buying, all red in a row, almost to the 17.15 price, or 17.14 and 50 cents price. And then it pulls back and kind of has a little more of a rally up. There you go. So you're at that target. You get there pretty quickly, you know, within, is that about an hour? A little more than an hour. So you get this level. I mean, if you got in here, that's like, what was that, 2 hours later that you're at your target. So you may not have made the full amount that you wanted to, maybe not the full 2 hour, but you should have hit your target up here on this kind of move. So from here, you know, it could continue higher. We got some resistance from 2 days ago. We've actually made a higher high of the day. That's great. But it actually kind of started to pull back a little bit. Okay, now we got up there again. Same level. All right, now this looks like a little bit of a double top. You know, here's a neckline. It could be breaking down here, but you know, we're at a value that's a good resistance, and you know, we've just broken out of a bullish continuation pattern here, this kind of triangle. So you know, we can let this kind of retest a little bit and see, okay, what's it going to do? And it consolidates and then breaks down a little bit. And it actually only came down here to retest to the high from previously in the day, and then this area here. So it's retesting that. If you're still looking positive, looking bullish on this, and then, you know, we got to squeeze its fared short, but we've got some buying coming in right here. So another stair step right here. Could have easily seen, okay, the momentum is shifting. We could go bullish again, you know, come back up to this level, stop underneath. Could totally work. And it looks like it's going to start to break out, and then it pulls back. And so, you know, if you got in on that stair step, you're stopped out. if you got in with a stop down here looking for a 1-to-1 or so, you may still be in. It just depends, again, on what option and how much premium is lost on that kind of a candle. So, from here it actually ran up, didn't quite get to 1714.50, and then kind of comes back down. So, if you look at this, we kind of had one retest of that triangle, a second one, and even maybe a third one here, for that triangle, and what it did to actually break out. So, but what's interesting is we had a bit of a double top here that actually did end up breaking down. Or you could look at this as some sort of shoulder, head, shoulder, and then that came back down and broke that neckline, but didn't really continue. Then it's retesting here, so kind of breaks down there. The this kind of consolidation right up here at a resistance with daily support from the simple moving average. You see another consolidation here. This one ends up breaking down slightly, retests down again, and then, likely people stop people out, or likely it stopped people out when it was moving up. So let's jump over to the options. If we look at this, what it was doing here, it was selling off here. There were some buyers. You could have been buying at this level. You could have waited for some of these. Let's look at 10 o'clock. Let's just say 10 o'clock and see what's going on with the options. So 10 o'clock on the calls. 10 o'clock on the calls. So that is right there. You could have bought $9 or $8, and that would have totally worked. You could have gotten up to maybe 13, but let's call it 13. 13 here, and then minus 9. So that would have been 4R trading, $100R, that kind of thing. It's phenomenal. That's the kind of move that you want to get on something like this, where it's, there's things going on, but there's nothing crazy happening. It's just, regular day trade on a Friday. And you can see how this rallied, retested, collapsed, came right back down to this area. You could have bought again 9 by 8, and that may have worked, may have stopped you out. May have worked here, gone up, exited, or stopped out, and then came down here, and then it rallied. So you could have made a few more R just by going in and looking at the levels. So even though we had this consolidation here, and a little bit of the head and shoulders thing here, if you come back to the daily, so just remember this value, that this retested the same value we were looking at. We go back to the 5-minute, these values, both of them, kind of still held above this. That's just how the premium erodes for the option, that you're not going to get the same price here as you can get here. This one will be better, but there's a lot more risk in time that it's not going to continue as high as you want it to continue. So coming back into the options, the other thing we want to look at is, could we have sold short up here and carried on this sort of move? So if we look at the puts, it looks like this was just a major area of some consolidation. And so, the low here is 240, 239. So somebody could have bought puts for, $2.50, $3, even with a stop at 2, and rode that up for a few hours up into the $6 range. So, even though things are looking so uncertain, in this case, so bullish, we value this, and this was evaluated to see that, okay, we came into this value and then we started to reject it, so let's get into some puts and see what it'll do, go a little lower. So people can make money on that sort of thing when it's a key value and it's rolling over, or in this case down here, it was a distribution on the 5-minute that actually rallied, consolidated, and continued. So there's different ways to trade this. And then something I always enjoy looking out for is what kind of options moved for things going into the close. And so that's something that we'll take a look at more another time. But, real briefly, had you known it wasn't going to get up here, which, you can find out after the fact, but if you knew for certain it wasn't going to get up to this line, that is 220. So let's go back over to the puts. So this is a 1715 put at 220. So this would have been a phenomenal place to buy for let's just say it's 250, and then flip that back out. Maybe, probably not 450. So, anyway, still a really good gain. I was hoping the numbers would work out a little better, but overall, really good gain. For that kind of late day move, you got to be watching it, you got to be nimble, and not everyone can trade that way. And so, come back into the 5 minute on the daily. These are the key values we're looking at, the key patterns: this consolidation, this rally, a pullback, rally, pullback. Get a little bit of a rollover here, a bounce, and then another bounce and rollover. So, talking in general terms, there's some things that you could have caught maybe in the midst of stuff. Looking back to the left at key values, if we go back and look, so I'm just looking, okay, so we had some reversals here, here, and now here. So anyway, this is across multiple days to see kind of how things that happened before could be leveraged for today. So again, more stuff we'll look at. We'll continue to look at in the future. But for now, hope you enjoyed the video. And on the daily, I would love to see this continue higher, this momentum reverse, and we may just need a couple more days of consolidation before it's really going to get ready to break out, similar to this. And then actually consolidated for a while, broke out, retested, came way back down into the same area. So you may not be, if you're buying today or buying tomorrow, you may not actually be at that price level until we pull back a little bit, if we pull back a little bit. So we got the lines drawn in, and need more lines to see what's really going to happen with the way this is moving. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is Justin, AMZN. Thanks.